Hello, welcome back to Hokmah and Musar. Today we're going to talk about first things. Lately I've had a lot of talks with friends of mine, some who are Roman Catholic, and others who are just various types of Protestants, and it has been my observation that a lot of the ways people talk past each other is because of a different set of assumptions, a different first things, if you will. And that's the purpose of this episode, to lay out what I see as the true first things, the biblical, genuine first things that correspond to reality. Um, whether you're talking to an Eastern Orthodox, a Roman Catholic, a fellow Protestant of a different mindset, I think these will be helpful uh, to think through, and maybe this will challenge you to examine your own set of assumptions or presuppositions, your own first things. And what I want to lay out are the following: one, a biblical view of the worldview; two, what I call the three Jews, uh, three Judaisms, maybe. And let's start with worldview. The Bible describes the worldview as, in the beginning, God created the material world and the immaterial world. Is that what it says? No. It says the heavens and the earth. Heavens is plural. Shemayim. Shemayim is heavens. Mayim is water. Um, the heavens, plural. The heavens in the Bible and ancient Judaism were seen as physical and continuous. Physical and continuous. Think about this. When Enoch was taken up, when Elijah was taken away, why didn't they just teleport out of this dimension and into another one? When Jesus left the disciples and apostles, um, why not just teleport, go invisible, dark mode, if you will, and then be gone? Why go up? Why did Elijah go up and why did Jesus go up? And the point that I'm making is that in their worldview, which is the worldview of reality, the heavens are plural and continuous. There was a debate whether there were three heavens or 10 heavens. But the point is that there's more than one. Paul himself says he was caught up, snatched up to the third heaven, whether in the body or out of the body, he wasn't sure. But the point is he was up into the higher part of the heavens. They don't make hardline distinctions between them. The heavens are the home of birds, flying creatures. Eventually, you get up there, there's moon, stars, the sun, planets, principalities and powers, spirits, and eventually God Himself. This is a slightly different way of looking at it than what I think a lot of genuine Christians hold. They, I think, view heaven primarily as another dimension, another world that somehow we get from this one into that one. Now, I want to be clear and say I'm not suggesting we know exactly how any of this works, but that we make a moderate adjustment and just realize that the biblical framework is physical heavens of some sort and a physical earth, and that though there's things invisible, that's not the same as totally immaterial. Um, whether it's a different type of immateriality, I'm not suggesting God is material in any tangible way that we would think of, but the heavens themselves are. Uh, I won't pretend that we understand this, but we need to realize how they saw it and begin to modify and accept it. Moving on, the three Jews or three Judaisms. Um, Christianity has these three ideas that we often don't feel the weight of properly. Number one, it is based on a Jewish book. All of, or virtually all of the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, is written as Jewish literature, written by Jews, and primarily, at least in the beginning, for Jews. The only real debate is about Luke. Many have said Luke is a Gentile. We know he was a physician. Many in modern scholarship have suggested, though, he was in fact Jewish. And if he's Jewish, as far as I can tell, um, everybody who wrote a book of the Bible is a member of Israel in some way or another. This is their literature. This is their work. This is their holy book that we are utilizing and reading and profiting from. Certainly, Paul's letters have a Gentile audience in view, but again, he is a Jew writing as a Jew. So it's a Jewish book. Number two, this is a faith based on a Jewish Savior, a Jewish founder, a Jewish Messiah. Jesus is clearly Jewish. There's no getting around that. For ages, people in paintings have depicted him as having blonde hair and blue eyes and looking like an Anglo-Saxon. Modern depictions have gotten it more, they've gotten more sensible and make him look at least Middle Eastern. But when we divorce Jesus from his original Jewish context and depart from that context, many parts of his ministry and his message will be misunderstood. The Sermon on the Mount and many other things will be slightly off if we don't understand who he's reacting against and what the real issues were. So a lot of the debates were intra-Jewish debates, that they were asking Jesus, "What do you think? Are you with Shammai, one famous rabbi, or are you with Hillel, another famous rabbi, or are you taking a totally rogue view?" But once you recognize what the popular debates were, it helps to make more sense of some of what Jesus says. So, one, it's a Jewish book. Two, we have a Jewish Savior. A great book that I would recommend about the end times and eschatology and just a framework in general would be When a Jew Rules the World by Joel Richardson. Great book. When a Jew Rules the World by Joel Richardson. And three, Christianity is a Jewish faith. And I think we often don't frame it like that. It sounds odd, but that's exactly what it is. Think about this. All the Jews, or all the believers who are saved at Pentecost are all Jews. Thousands of them. And Christianity exists solely within a Jewish orbit for more than the first 10 years. It's not until you get into Acts 10 and eventually Peter has this vision of a sheet with the animals that are unclean, and God says, "Rise, Peter, eat." And he goes, "No, no, Lord, I've never eaten anything unclean." And he doesn't know what this vision is about. And finally, he realizes he's supposed to minister to Gentiles and that God is accepting Gentiles into the body of Messiah. But this is 10 years plus after Pentecost. It's important that we remember that Christianity is really true Judaism. And when we get these basic things right, that the Bible presents the worldview of the heavens and the earth, a literal creation with a literal Adam and Eve, and a literal Noah, and eventually a literal Abraham, it's very particular. It's got specific people. There had to have been at least two people in the beginning. And he decided to begin redeeming the world through one man, Abraham, and his literal children and sons and family and lineage. and through the lineage of David. These are real historical people, physical people, tangible people that you could have touched and met and hugged and had conversations with. It's very fleshy. Uh, and Jesus descended into the heavens when he went up. And Paul was snatched up into the third heavens, in or out of the body, we don't know exactly. Um, so the heavens are seen as continuous and physical and plural. Um, and we're moving from the creation, which is now fallen, onto new creation, which again will be tangible, physical, and real. And along the way, our first things must hold in view these realities that we have a Jewish book with a Jewish Savior and a Jewish faith. If we keep these simple things in mind, it helps us to begin to have more fruitful and productive conversations about what Christianity really is about. Because one of the things that happened within the early church and then later on throughout the centuries is the influx of Hellenistic thinking. Hellenism is just another word for Greek. So the influx of Greek ideas through philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, who had a spiritual view of the world. Plato is famous for seeing the body as a prison house for the soul. We certainly believe that there is a soul and a part of you that's immaterial in a sense. But the body is not a prison house. The body is fallen, but good inherently. God made it and said it's very good. And we will long for not the release of our body, but a new body, a glorified, perfect body. And so many ideas within the early church get changed as time passes because of this influx of Greek Hellenistic thinking. And rather than hoping for this new world that the Bible promises, new heavens, new earth, physical and real, living and reigning with the Messiah in a recreated world and planet, the hope slowly gets changed into this new ethereal heavens where people are sitting on harps and beholding what they call the beatific vision of God. And so the hope is changed from a physical, tangible, corporeal hope, living in a new heavens and earth, to a ethereal, heavenly destiny up there. It's an important and big difference. There are many other things that were affected, but if we get this simple framework, physical, real world that God made, new heavens, new earth is the future. We behold in our hands a Jewish book, which is about a Jewish Savior, and we are partaking of a Jewish faith. Christianity is true Judaism. These are the first things. Next, we'll move on to second and third things. Bye-bye.